Hey guys, welcome to Screenshots Casual Talk. Today I'm going to talk about X-Men Days of Future Past. Now, for those who haven't seen the film yet, let me just say this. If you love X-Men, if you've seen every X-Men film, and if you loved First Class, then you are going to love this film. It is so good. Everybody says that The Avengers is such an amazing film because it was able to develop every character. True, but X-Men Days of Future Past, in my opinion, puts it in a corner. Just blows it away. Because it has so much more character development, especially with James McAvoy's character. You have so many actors on screen. James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Jennifer Lawrence, Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen. And I didn't even say Hugh Jackman. And Hugh Jackman is the character that you are in the film. You're basically with him throughout the entire film. And it's just amazing to see these actors act on screen. I don't want to spoil it to you, but basically you have Wolverine go back in time. So if you haven't watched it yet, go watch it now. Now. Why are you still here? Just go watch the film now. If you haven't seen the film, do not watch the rest of this review because it contains spoilers. With that being said, so I am a huge X-Men First Class fan. Not an X-Men fan, a huge X-Men First Class fan. Why? Because it's the best superhero film out there. Yes, it beats The Dark Knight. It beats it to the ground and says, Dark Knight, you're awesome, but I'm better. Because I'm awesome throughout the entire film. We're just awesome through the first 2/3 of the film. And in the third act, you have this weird motivation of characters that make no sense. And you kind of have these cheesy moments with the ship. So no, my ending beats yours. My ending is awesome. Burn! Yes, I love X-Men First Class. And yes, I do love The Dark Knight, but X-Men First Class, it is an amazing superhero film because it reminds me of watching Empire Strikes Back. You might think, why are you talking about Empire Strikes Back? That's Star Wars. It's not. This is X-Men. Why are you talking about Star Wars? Well, because there are scenes in the film that really make me invest in the film in the same way that Empire Strikes Back did. Remember the Yoda, Luke, and X-Wing scene? It kind of felt that scene when we were watching James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender's character with the satellite dish. And if you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. Because the way that you see James McAvoy go into his mind and really try to help him to really try to use his powers, it was such an emotional, amazing scene. So yeah, if you haven't seen X-Men First Class, go watch it because it is amazing. I'm not gonna say I was psyched when watching Days of Future Past, but I was excited because the main characters of the film were going to be James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender again, with Hugh Jackman basically taking us there. That's what I thought was really interesting because you have so many characters in the film. There are so many characters and they all deliver perfectly. And Bryan Singer, the director of X-Men and X2, X-Men United, him coming back to the series was actually a really good choice because he really understands how X-Men was originally done because he did it. And you might think, oh, he's gonna do Superman Returns again because he failed with that film and blah blah blah. I don't think Superman Returns was that bad, but whatever. Yeah, it's not an amazing film without a doubt, but him returning was a great choice. He delivered in terms of directing. I love the fact that he doesn't use shaky cam. He has this old style filmmaking that I just adore. You know, the camera just flows naturally. You just see everything. The camera only shakes when there's really intense action, which makes sense, but every other scene, it's just fluidity throughout. It was such an amazing film to watch visually, and Matthew Vaughn did the same thing with X-Men First Class. So it was really good to see directors do this in commercial films because there's too much shaky cam in films nowadays. I even reviewed Godzilla the past week and I thought it had way too much shaky cam. But that's my opinion, so please don't hate me on it. Or hate me on it, I don't care. You have this amazing scene with Quicksilver when he's a young kid and just running around with this 60s or 70s song. It's so good, it's so well done. I'm completely invested in that scene. It's probably the most memorable superhero scene in terms of superhero-ness. You're seeing a character's powers in the best way possible. To see his powers like that, that was the best way he could have done it. He's just so cocky, so he knew that the guys would shoot and just, alright, I'm gonna do everything that I need to do now and take care of the situation. Awesome, loved it. Also, James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender acting off each other. Wow, it's so good. Michael Fassbender for me is one of the best actors of now. He's such a good actor. But because this film is mainly about Charles Xavier's development, you know, because in 1973 Charles Xavier lost everything. He was completely alone, and he didn't like listening to the people's voices in his head. He was taking the serum to make him walk, but he would lose his powers in doing so, and you really feel that he has no way of coming back, but at the same time he has no choice, because he has to stop Raven, Jennifer Lawrence's character, making a huge mistake, something that Wolverine told him and forced him and made him develop. But at the same time, when Wolverine tells him like, you have to do this, he lets him make the decision. You know, there's a moment where he's about to take the serum and Wolverine's like, if you really want to save the world, you cannot take it. And instead of forcing him, no, he just lets him, you have to make the decision, not me, you have to make it. And he makes that decision, and it was cool to watch. One of the most best scenes in the film is when he's trying to find Jennifer Lawrence's character, Raven or Mystique, and he's not able to, and he gets really down. I was in a theater, so this is going to be one of those scenes where he's going to try to find the person, he's not going to be able to do it, and Wolverine's going to say, try again, and then it's going to be done. But no, they went a lot further. Basically, Wolverine makes Charles Xavier, James McAvoy's character, go into his mind and see his future, basically his memories, and he dives in, he sees Wolverine's horrible past, he doesn't like what he's seeing, and Wolverine's like, come on, you have to go deeper into the future. And then he sees himself in the future, and he has this awesome scene with Patrick Stewart. And I was like, this is how you develop a character. Not with one line saying, you can do it, and then do it. No, you invest into a scene, you invest into a character. It doesn't matter how many awesome actors you have in the film. If you have to develop a character, do it. Take your time and do it. And that scene alone, I was like, yes, this is good cinema. This is great cinema, in fact. Whether it's commercial, whether it's artistic, whether it's both, whether it's auteur, whether it's independent, whatever, you have to invest time into what you're doing. If you're trying to develop a character, then you have to invest in it. If you're trying to do something else, then you have to invest in that. And in this case, James McAvoy's character needed development, and they invested their time in doing it. It was amazing. I loved it. I love that scene. And you see James McAvoy, his potential as an actor, his talent. He forces his face, but he does it in such a natural way that it's so convincing that if any other actor did it, it would come off as goofy. He pulls it off. He's so convincing. He's such a good actor. Even though I prefer Michael Fassbender's acting in First Class, because his character was the one that needed development in First Class, James McAvoy does a great job. He's such a good actor. It was awesome to see that in this film. However, the last act of the film, because it needed to end on a good note, I understand that, but sometimes I felt it was a bit too forced. You went a bit too far with some scenes, you know, with Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen handshaking. I felt that was a little bit too much, like, we're going to die, yeah, but you know they're not going to. So, but it didn't take me out of the film too much. I was so invested in the story, the huge build-up was done so well, so I still enjoyed the last part of the film. But you do have some kind of cheesy moments. You also have James McAvoy talking to Mystique in his mind and saying, you have to make the choice, don't kill Trask, if you do it you're gonna ruin everything. And then he's like, she's going to make the right choice. It would be really funny if she just shot him. He's like, yeah, fuck it. You know, just being like, yeah, you're right. Done. But I liked it. I got the point across. It was well done. Jennifer Lawrence, she was great as Raven and Mystique. She didn't have that many scenes in the film. She was a really important character, and you did see her act well, and you did see a bit of her development. It was cool, but the focus was more on James McAvoy's character, Hugh Jackman, and Michael Fassbender's. They were basically just a way to get to Jennifer Lawrence and stop her in killing Trask. Now, about Trask, I found out that Trask in the comics is not like that. He's actually tall, he's not little. But Peter Dinklage is such a good actor. He's so good. He does it perfectly. Like, I'm watching him and I'm afraid of that little guy. Like, please do not come near me. I am afraid of you. I'm scared of touching you because you're gonna hit me some way and you're gonna defeat me and you're gonna win. No, but bye. Just go away. And he didn't have that much development in the film. He's just such a good actor. And I feel like he really wanted to destroy these mutants. I felt like he was a true villain. More than that, it's not just him that's the villain. It's Jennifer Lawrence in the film in a way, because when she kills him, everything else happens. So in a sense, he is a villain of that time period, but she is the villain of the whole event. So it was cool also to have that moral situation going on. And I just feel like Bryan Singer did a great job. I wanted Matthew Vaughn because he did a great job in First Class, but it was the right choice. Bryan Singer doing this film was the right choice. If I had to give a rating, I would give a 4 out of 5 stars, meaning it's great, not perfect, but great. It just lacks that awesome ending that First Class had, but I guess they had to make it into a happy ending because of the story in the comics, so I guess that makes sense, but still, it's a little bit too cheesy in my opinion, but it was really well done. Great character development, especially with so many actors, also creativity behind the film. You see Quicksilver doing that scene that was so creative, so creative. So yeah, those are my opinions. I hope you enjoyed them. If you like what you watched, subscribe so you can check out my future reviews. Also, don't forget to go into my YouTube channel to check all of my reviews. You have 3 of them right here. I look forward to know your opinions below, so please do comment, because I really want to hear your comments and your opinions and read them. And I know I said do, so whatever. Also, check my Facebook page, Screenshots Reviews. I also have a Twitter page, which is Screenshots Rev, and I also have a blog called screenshotsreviews.blogspot.com. So check them all out. I hope you enjoyed my review, and I look forward to seeing you in the future. And remember, these are my personal opinions.